to see what my bubble sees. Like, I don't talk to anyone or I don't take anyone's information that's outside my bubble. And inside my bubble, everyone's like, yeah, you're gonna blast him out in the first round. So that's exactly what I expect, you get what I mean? And when I do go do something like that, it's not that much joy. It's on to the next one, isn't it, really?
Moses Itauma?
No, definitely not. Think I'm stupid. No.
Mike Tyson was 20 years and 5 months when he wins the heavyweight championship of the world. Don't take anything away from Moses Itauma. He could have done that to Dillian in the pomp of his career. You know, there's nobody in the world right now apart from Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, who he couldn't pick holes.
Moses Itauma is sending a clear warning to Tyson Fury before his huge Filip Hrgović fight, and his confidence tells you everything about his mindset. Itauma's camp believes he can stop Hrgović early, and once that job is done, Tyson Fury appears to be the next name on his radar.
It's not just a sport, it's a lifestyle you live. And like, I understand, like, it's going to be hard. Even for me, like, I've like fell in love with the hustle. And like, I couldn't imagine like not having it in my life. So it's like waking up and just like, do you know what I mean? What are you going to do? So I don't blame him. I think it's good.
Moses Itauma has already experienced intense sparring with Tyson Fury, and that memory clearly fuels his confidence. When a young fighter asks not to be taken easy on and still survives brutal sessions, it explains why Itauma now speaks about Fury without fear.
Remember on a Thursday, we done some heavy rounds. My body was in bits. Anyways, got to do it all again on Friday. We had a 2-day little rest, recovery and stuff. And on a Monday, it was back 6 rounds. Tyson goes, bring the heat, Moses, don't take it easy on me. I'm like, all right, cool. We have another scrap. Then it's another session. And it was just absolute.
Tyson Fury has called this fight an acid test for Itauma, while admitting that a victory could put him straight into a world championship run. That respect is significant because Fury understands the danger Itauma could eventually bring.
Especially for a young lad. I don't know how old he is now, 21 or 2 or something like that. Acid test. He hasn't really had a test before. This is his first acid test, really. And if he comes through this, then I think he's definitely going to win the world championship. I do believe this should be a championship of the world. Like, the IBF should put their belt on the line for Moses versus Hrgović because they're 2 highly rated IBF title contenders. And yeah, I think that this is a tough fight. Very tough fight. Hrgović is big and a tall, Olympic pedigree, hundreds of amateur fights, and he's been in there with some of the best heavyweights in the world. And he's not like 40 years old, his man's 33 or 4, so he's in his prime. He hasn't had 40, 50 fights, he's only had a small amount of fights. And he's a tough game man, so it's definitely a good acid test for Moses. Potential banana skin for sure.
Filip Hrgović, however, is dismissing the hype. He has promised to stop Itauma before continuing his own world title journey, potentially toward Daniel Dubois. His confidence is obvious, especially while Itauma is already looking beyond him toward Tyson Fury.
My name is Guy Itauma. Moses Itauma. I think he's a great fighter. The young, 20 years, yeah?
20.
Yeah, 20 years. I think Itauma have big fish.
Itauma insists he is not obsessed with the knockout, but the biggest question remains his ability to handle real pressure. He has never been seriously tested by sustained heavyweight punishment or forced to fight through major adversity. Hrgović could be the first fighter to expose those weaknesses.
That's my game plan, but that's what I hope for, but I never really go focusing on the knockout. I just focus on sticking to the game plan, and if it leads to a knockout, it leads to a knockout. If it don't, it don't. So I'm not really too focused on that, but we'll see in it.
Itauma has downplayed the championship stakes and says his focus is simply beating Hrgović. But talking about respect is easy. Proving it against a bigger, stronger, and more experienced heavyweight is completely different.
I don't know. I don't believe he's
For right now, I don't believe he's so good because he was never in trouble. He never really received a good punch. So we'll see. One thing is to have a good skills and to be a good boxer, and another thing is to be a warrior. So you have that or you don't have that. So you can't teach that. You can't learn that to be a warrior, to have a heart, to have a chin, to go down, to come back and continue to fight. So we'll see, maybe he's next great, and maybe he's just a hype job, and because for right now he did an amazing job, for right now, but he never received a real punch. He never fought anyone who fight.
Not really, like the belts just come with the performance. With boxing Hrgović, I was taking him serious, and now that the belt's on the line, I still take him serious. Nothing's changed. Like, I still want to beat him as much as I did before the belts were on the line. So, like, of course, it will be an honor, and I'd love to be a world champion. But it's about Filip Hrgović himself.
Hrgovic's confidence is also important. He respects Itauma, but has zero doubt about beating him. In heavyweight boxing, confidence based on experience can make the difference between a predictable result and a major upset.
Of course, I respect him as a man, as a fighter. He's a good guy, but we'll fight, He's getting beating, man. So it is.
Ariel Itauma makes another important point. Even Itauma supporters admit this could be his first serious trouble. Hrgović is bigger, experienced, and willing to walk through punches to land his own. If Itauma struggles early, that hesitation could give Hrgović the opening he needs.
This is almost like I don't know, he's starting kind of from scratch, really. But I do think people are going to get behind him once he ices Hrgović, and I do expect him to ice Hrgović as well, but he will come through some trouble. I do think.
Hrgović isn't simply planning to outbox Itauma. He wants to overpower him. His size and physical strength could become major factors if he forces the pace from the opening bell.
Itauma is a very strong guy, but I'm a stronger guy and I'm gonna throw him out.
Dave Allen backs Itauma to win, but even he admits there is uncertainty. Nobody truly knows whether Itauma has the whiskers to withstand a world-class heavyweight punch. Hrgović straight. Heavy shots could finally answer that question.
I think Itauma stops Hrgović in 2 or 3. Do you
think he puts him out cold?
I think he knocks Hrgović out cold, yeah.
Cold.
I think he does. As good as I think Hrgović is, and Umar's too good for me, I just think Itauma is all wrong for him, because Hrgović just stand up tall, straight shots. I think Itauma will just be miles too fast for him, because Hrgović is going to come and have a go, and Hrgović is going to try and knock Itauma out, which is great. But I just think...
And we're still yet to see if he's got whiskers.
Of course, yeah, but I just think Itauma is going to hit him first.
Allen favors Itauma's speed and skill, but his comments reveal the biggest unknown surrounding the young contender. What happens when he gets hurt?
I'm back because there is breaking news today. Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgović will be for the IBF World Heavyweight Title. Now remember I said this, that they must find a way to just manoeuvre Frank Sanchez out of the way. Frank Sanchez was #1 with the IBF. If I'm Frank Warren, I will be doing everything I can to try and just get Sanchez out the way, however you can, to ensure that Itauma versus Hrgović is for the IBF World Title. And he was the next in line. They were looking for someone for him to fight. They ordered Frank Sanchez against Moses Itauma, and clearly the chat began then between the camps, and they clearly said to Frank Sanchez, do you mind just maybe taking a little bit of money and then you can fight the winner, and then we can have this fight for a world title fight? That's what's happened. Now I said at the time Maybe they'll try and push Sanchez towards Caballero in some sort of rematch for the WBC, but it looks like he's just accepted some kind of step-aside money with the kind of promise that he'll get the winner of Moses versus Hrgović for the IBF World Heavyweight title. Now, this is big, big news. Now,
Dev Sani's breaking news raises the stakes even further. This is no longer a routine step-up. Itauma is being fast-tracked toward an IBF World Heavyweight title opportunity against Hrgović, skipping much of the progression normally expected for a 20-year-old heavyweight. That makes this an enormous gamble.
He's a good fighter. You know, I think Hrgović is a world-class heavyweight. Is he elite? I think he's close to it. And there was one stage I think he was really close to it, but you know, he's going to fight Itauma now. I think it's a good fight. You know, I think Moses will be much too sharp for him, but I think it's a proper challenge. I think it's Moses' first real.
Even Eddie Hearn admits this is Itauma's first real test and describes it as a proper opportunity for Hrgović. Hearn refuses to treat the fight like a mismatch, which tells you just how seriously he views the threat.
Absolutely, he's a young Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was doing the same thing when he came up until he met somebody that wasn't afraid of him, and Filip wouldn't be afraid of him if he fought.
Hrgovic's trainer makes an even bigger comparison, mentioning young Mike Tyson. Tyson once looked unstoppable until he eventually faced fighters who refused to be intimidated. According to Hrgovic's camp, Filip will not fear Itauma's reputation or power.
He's very talented, very sharp, only getting better and better with each fight. And this will be a good test for him, because Hrgović is no slouch, and no one is just going to come easy and try and give it to him, you know? Hrgović will be throwing punches, chasing him down, and if Moses can deal with that and look impressive, then you know he's ready for the big stage.
Joseph Parker gives a balanced assessment. He respects Itauma's talent, but believes Hrgović provides a genuine test. Parker expects Hrgović to keep coming forward, throwing punches and forcing Itauma to work under pressure. His key point is simple. Itauma is ready for the big stage only if he can handle that pressure and still perform. Parker then switches from analyst to fighter, predicting a first-round knockout and promising to start aggressively rather than slowly. His plan is to test Itauma's toughness immediately.
Said about a first-round knockout. Do you think you could knock him out in the first round?
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Look at this. Touch this.
You're strong, mate.
Fuck, man, I'm strong like a rock. I can knock out a horse.
Yeah.
So, of course I believe, and he start fast. You know, don't start fast. I'm slow starter, but this fight I will start fast. I must train to start fast, and I wanna get into the fight with him. I don't wanna box too much with him. I wanna get into the fight and see.
And that is exactly what Hrgović will be looking to do. Itauma may already have Tyson Fury in his sights, but first he has to pass the biggest test of his young career. Speed and power created the hype, but against Filip Hrgović, the real question is whether Moses Itauma can handle adversity when the punches start coming back. The answer could determine whether Itauma is truly ready for Tyson Fury, or whether the heavyweight division is moving too quickly for him.